Alright guys, what's up? It's the Arid Lord here, and I'm doing a series of Walking Dead vlogs to kind of count down The Walking Dead Season 7 until we get to October. I've been wanting to put this video out for a bit because I am convinced of the audio that I'm hearing in juncture with everything else put in the video. I'm pretty sure that the death for Negan's kill with Lucille that was cut with a cliffhanger, disappointingly enough, as I reviewed many times with my friends, I believe that it is Glenn. Upon analyzing the video a bunch of times, I'm going to put the audio in this overlaid. I'm going to slow it down, and I'm going to do a couple of things to prove where I'm coming from here. So what we're going to do is play the audio as it's normally shot. Now, some people, in trying to analyze this, from what I've seen, have tried to visually represent where everybody is sitting. So Rick's group on the ground kneeling, they, based on the wide angle shot of Negan coming out, they try to discern where everyone's sitting, kneeling, and they track the eeny, meeny, miny, mo with the bat starting on Rick, and they track it, and they try to discern who it is from that. I've also seen some theories based on the angle of the light, the spotlight that's coming from kind of the left of the RV, the back left. And then the final theory I've seen in terms of visuals is when Negan's referencing cutting Carl's eye out, if anyone moves, and feeding it to Rick. There's a slight turn of his shoulder to the right when he makes this motion as if to say that Rick is over there and that he's going to do it to those people over there to the right, as to say that that's where they're kneeling. So the people that are to the right of Rick are the people that we have to consider for who might be getting the Lucille treatment. Those are just theories that I've heard visually, but I was convinced about this solely on a couple of watch throughs of this. I was convinced of who this was because of the audio, and that was always my first forte. Like, I don't believe that you can really discern this by the visuals. The only thing I could say is that there is no RV in the background when from the first person view of the victim, even when they get hit, that split second where they kind of fall to the ground, unless the camera made it blurry so you can't see what's in the background intentionally. So in terms of that, I would have to say that it is on Rick's side. So I'm obviously going to go for either Daryl or Glenn. Could be Abraham. I'm going to stick with the guys. I don't think it's going to be a girl. I'm just going to go and put that on a limb that it would probably be very fucked up for it to be a girl. I believe there is a comic line where Negan says he doesn't kill women or children. So I think keeping it to the men is a safe bet. It would make the most sense. But I wanted to show you guys this clip here of when the victim gets hit the first time and Negan has his, dang, would you look at that, taking it like a champ, and then he goes for the second hit. And then he says, damn, it's muffled. And then there's about 2 or 3 more hits of the bat until the final smack that kills the person ends the episode. So this episode pretty much ends with the person dying, although we don't see it. Because we're basically supposed to be that person, so we can't see who it is if we're dead. I guess that's the logic. So with that in mind, I'm going to play I'm going to play it normal. Normal, no editing, and I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to have it play, and then once it's done, I'm going to do freeze frame, and I'm going to slow down the audio where I hear this line said. Now, what you're looking to hear, just before we play it, when the person gets hit the first time, you hear intense breathing, intense just the intensity of their breathing from getting hit with the bat, obviously. Their bodies reeling from the experience of being struck. And then you hear the line of dialogue which has me convinced as to who it is. Because it aligns, again, spoilers for the comics, it aligns with the death in the comics, the person that Negan kills in the comics, which was handled totally differently. There was no cliffhanger on Robert Kirkman's part. The entire death and the shots of the comic of the person getting hit, which is Glenn, is shown frame for frame. And the episode ends with Rick having to deal with his exploded body, brains on the ground. Yeah, so let's play this without kind of delaying any further, and I'll show you guys what I'm trying to get at here.
Hell, you're all gonna be doing that. Oh! Look, Dad! Taking it like a champ!
Okay, so important thing to note here is that you're gonna want to listen for the intense breathing. You'll kind of hear someone go moaning. It'll be like an intense breathing moaning. They'll be moaning, and they'll kind of be like kind of like that, like oh my, like it's just like the pain is so much. Like the sound they make is like, I don't know, if you were to drop a knife on your foot, or that's probably a bad. It's probably a bad metaphor considering the intensity of what's happening here, but it's just a release of pain, and immediately after you have that huh, and then you have that huh, and then the Maggie part. Difficult to hear, but what I'm going to do is turn up the volume on it, and I'm also going to take a clip from somebody who actually releases the soundtracks for The Walking Dead. They basically they cut the audio out and they try to remove as much background noise as possible. So shout outs to the YouTuber Be Claimed. I've used a lot of his music before just for the tracks as they are. When I listen to this, the music from this sequence, you can actually hear it's clearer with the audio that I'm trying to point out to you guys. It's actually clearer. Alright, I'll even, if there's any doubt too, I'll even individually break down the syllables of what's said. I'll do some slow motion editing here to give you guys a better sense. Alright, ready? Here we go. Now, call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure he's saying Maggie. I'm turning, the volume's pretty clear now. You got a slow motion version as well. This is just my theory. I've pointed this out to people on different re-uploads of this scene, and people have not believed me. People are like, oh no, he doesn't, like, people are trying to say, oh no, he said, that's Dang, that's Negan talking. It's like, no, I know. All of Negan's lines is, would you look at that, taking it like a champ. It's right between his audio. When he says, dang, would you look at that, then you have Glenn's line where he says, oh, Maggie. Immediately after, Jeffrey Dean Morgan or Negan says, taking it like a champ. He hits the baseball bat, then you hear dang from Negan one last time, and then you have a couple more baseball bat hits until the entire episode ends. And that's the way I processed it. That's the way I processed it, scene for scene, audio by audio, visual by visual. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you still think it's somebody else, but I'm pretty sure that all of this evidence that I found points to it being Glenn. I honestly was kind of hoping that it would be somebody else. I didn't. If they do stay true to this audio, maybe they could just cut this